Well, hello there. Happy Wednesday. I'm Hillary. This is the 4-Minute Buzz, and let's get into some of today's top stories. A Delta Airlines jet flipped over on its roof when it came crashing down on Monday at Toronto's Pearson Airport. Now, miraculously, all 80 passengers on board survived the crash, and those who suffered injuries are all stable. Deborah Flint, CEO of Greater Toronto Airports Authority, told reporters that, quote, "We're very grateful there was no loss of life and relatively minor injuries." Delta CEO Ed Bastian also released a thankful statement saying, quote, "The hearts of the entire global Delta family are with those affected." 40-mile-per-hour winds were swirling snow around the plane as it attempted to land, but communications between the tower and the pilot were normal upon its approach. So the explanation for why this landing suddenly turned disastrous is still unknown. But the Democrats at CNN think they found the answer. Blame Trump and Republicans.
This is happening against the backdrop of massive cuts across the federal government, including at the FAA. Just going to put some up on the screen. Hundreds of FAA employees have been laid off as part of Elon Musk going through all the federal agencies.
But so far, these cuts, because they are directed at federal workers who the right has been expert at demonizing as lazy, as working from home, as costing too much, because they've been demonized, a lot of Americans say, too bad, so sad.
Just want to read what Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate, said. "I'm thankful that everyone in the flight incident in Toronto that took off from Minneapolis is safe, but we keep seeing these incidents day after day. Meanwhile, Trump's doing massive layoffs at the FAA, including safety specialists, and making our skies less and less safe."
But White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller was also recently on CNN, and he did not hide his excitement for President Trump's widespread government cuts.
There's no waste in HHS.
Stephen, I don't think anyone...
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted? Every day that no action is taken, the entire salaries of American workers that are taxed disappear forever.
Stephen, let's calm down.
We're not
having a debate.
There's no reason
about whether there are places...
You are clearly trying to debate me, and I will be as excited as I want to be about the fact that we are saving Americans billions of dollars, that we are ending the theft and waste and grift and corruption, that we are stopping American taxpayer dollars from subsidizing a rogue federal bureaucracy that has been relentlessly weaponized against the American people.
I share his excitement. And lastly, could we soon see the end of the penny? While attending Super Bowl 59, President Trump took to Truth Social, where he posted, quote, "I've instructed my Secretary of the U.S. Treasury to stop producing new pennies." Well, according to an exclusive report by Blaze News, Republican Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona introduced the Coins Act on Tuesday that would implement President Trump's proposal to halt the production of new pennies. The bill, known as the Currency Optimization, Innovation, and National Savings Act, would prohibit the production of any new pennies for the next decade, according to the text obtained exclusively by Blaze News. Now, it cost the U.S. Mint an average of 3.69 cents to produce a coin worth just 1 cent, which President Trump has deemed as too wasteful to continue. The bill also clarified that enough pennies have been minted and more are unnecessary. I mean, we do find them on the ground a lot. I'm Hillary. That's your 4-Minute Buzz. Now here's Glenn and Stu with the show.
Wow, it's cold today. Whew. In Texas, it's like 6. What's the problem? I'm sorry, it's -6 with the wind chill. So that's perfect. That's why I moved to Texas. Let me tell you about Good Ranchers. There used to be a country of origin labeling law, which kept you from falsely applying the Made in the USA flag sticker to your meat if it wasn't actually from the U.S. But that got repealed. I mean, why not? Big meat. It's like, I'm telling you, the processing plants, they are like the mafia. I mean, if the mafia exists, and if they did exist, I love them. But 85% of grass-fed beef in stores is imported for overseas. How do you like that? We need to shore up our ranchers. When you buy from Good Ranchers, you're supporting American farmers and ranchers who have fed this country for generations. And at goodranchers.com/Glenn, you can also check out my exclusive box. The hand-picked selections support the program, also directly support the ranchers here in America. Goodranchers.com/Glenn. Ship a box out today. Plus, right now, subscribe. Get free ground beef, chicken breast, or salmon in every box for a year. And $25 off with the code Glenn. Goodranchers.com/Glenn.
The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
The show's going to be great. Welcome to the Glenn Beck Program. We're so glad that you're here. We've got a lot to talk about. Trump and Elon Musk on with Hannity last night. The Trump administration was in Saudi Arabia. Working with Russia. Oh my gosh, the UK is all upset and so is all of Europe. But let's play our cards face up on the table, shall we? We'll talk about that coming up and more here in the next 60 seconds. First, let me tell you about Burn a Launcher. If you've ever had an ounce of gun training, you know one rule. If you shoot to kill. Never point a gun at something or someone that you don't intend on killing. You know, it's amazing how people just think they can use a gun and it's going to be a deterrent because I'll shoot them in the leg. No, you won't. And if you have that mentality, you're probably going to do more damage to yourself. And not every situation is something that lethal force is called for. That's why there's the Burn a Launcher. It looks just like a gun. In fact, it looks like a gun with a very big barrel. Very big. It looks scary as hell. But it is legal in all 50 states. You don't have to have any background checks. It can be used by all age groups as long as they're over 18. And it doesn't have bullets. It has powerful deterrents like tear gas and kinetic rounds with a 60-foot range. One shot can incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes. So if the situation calls for action but not lethal violence, Byrna is on your side. Visit byrna.com/Glenn. That's byrna.com/Glenn. Get 10% off your purchase. Well, let's say hello to my good friend, this guy over here, whatever his name is.
Fred.
Yeah. Hi. Hey, Fred. How are you?
Hey, Glenn. How are you?
Good to have you here. There's a couple of things. We've got the full gamut today. We've got a new kind of song from the left. You know,
good.
Yeah, it's a new protest.
I will say, Trump has really activated the artistic genes of the left.
Yeah,
these songs
really
have been great. There's great dances out there. There's all sorts of stuff.
It's all good stuff. All good stuff. Also, Elon and Donald Trump was on Sean Hannity last night. Let me just play a couple of cuts on that. Here's Elon on the left's hypocritical attacks.
When these attacks occur, the thing that they're accusing the administration of is what they are guilty of. They're saying that things are being done unconstitutional, but what they are doing is unconstitutional. They are guilty of the crime of which they accuse us.
That's always the first thing they do. He's in violation of the Constitution. They don't even know what they're talking. Well,
it's absurd.
Know. It's just a con job. It's a big con job.
Here he is with Elon, the president, and Elon kind of goofing around. Cut 12.
He's going to go into orbit soon.
Okay. Yeah.
No, he's going to go to Mars. He's
Starlink at some point.
Huh?
Yeah.
Is in over.
But they was asking, like, do you want to die on Mars? And I say, well, yes, but not on impact.
Starlink is in 100 countries. This is going to be hard. I feel like I'm interviewing two brothers here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Star Shield, which could be used for national defense.
Yeah, it is already being used for national defense.
Okay, that is really big news. First of all, the whole thing about this that you have to know is that they are friends. They are good friends. And they talked about how they know the press is trying to split them up, but they're not going to. They call each other back and forth and like, ooh, you're the president now, Elon. So they're on it. And they know that
it's good that they're aware of that.
It's very good. And they really have mutual respect for one another. Elon went into quite an honest dissertation about how he's been with the president, since 6-8 months now. And he said, I've been with him almost all the time. He said, I have never seen him do anything immoral, anything that even, broaches, wrong in any way. He said, I've never seen him do anything where he is acting out of anger or he's mean to somebody. He said, in fact, I see the exact opposite, which I thought was,
by the way, really common from people who spend time with Trump.
Yes.
That he is in person very, very, nice and works the
room.
He's
one of the most gracious people. And, you can, this is what's really important. When you see somebody with a lot of power, how do they treat the least powerful person in the room? Mm-hmm. Donald Trump treats the least powerful person in the room, sometimes more than the people with a lot of power. I mean, he will spend time with those people a lot faster than he would spend time with people like me. When he's out and on the campaign trail, he'll lock in on people who just came up to see it, and he runs into them somehow or another. He locks into those people and really, truly listens to them. He's an amazing guy.
That's not just an observation about Trump. That's also a good life hack.
It is.
That's how you should always operate.
Always. Let's see. The other thing he just said there was that the Star Shield.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Star Shield's been used for, what was that? It's been used for national defense?
It's being used for national defense.
Yeah. He said it's already been used, right?
Uh-huh.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure, because I just heard about Star Shield just recently, where the president was talking about developing a shield, a missile shield, over the United States.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay. And then he just kind of throws out there, yeah, it's already being used for defense. What, over the United States? How did that happen? What did you do? What is it? Wow.
First of all, that's great if it's true.
It's great.
But I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be a Trump thing. It's way too early. He's been in office for a month.
No, which makes me wonder if Elon Musk had put some other things in space,
right,
himself. You know what I mean? Maybe he launched something himself. I mean, good heavens!
This is the plot of a movie of some sort.
Oh, it is. It might
not turn out well.
Yeah, I might have seen it on Austin Powers. If there's a big boy up in space, it'll be Elon Musk inside.
I suppose it could have been a first-term Trump initiative. I mean, I guess it could have been a Biden initiative, but it doesn't seem that. No. Would seem surprising.
And here's the other thing that was really shocking in this interview. He talks about going up into space and rescuing the astronauts. You know, those astronauts are still up in space. They went for 8 days. They ran out of clean underpants a long time ago. I hope neither of them have to go to the hospital. What would their mothers say? But they went up for 8 days. They've been up there now over 300. I think the president said 390 days. They said that the reason they weren't taken down, Elon Musk said, I was ready to go. Remember, he said, I'll go up and get them? Mm-hmm. It was never approved by Biden. And they say it's because Biden didn't want the bad press and everybody looking to Elon Musk as a savior.
That makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense. Oh, my gosh. That is just evil. You're leaving people in space? I mean, but what do you expect from a guy who left people in Afghanistan?
Yeah. I mean, this is basically the central tenet of their policy platform.
Yeah, we leave people behind. Evil Incorporated. And we always leave our people behind. My gosh. Meanwhile, the senator from Massachusetts, Ed Markey, said what's happening in Boston. He's calling for a revolution. Listen to this, cut 2.
This is the city of revolutionaries. The American Revolution started here. The revolution of abolitionism started here. The revolution of the suffragette movement started here. The revolution of same-sex marriage started here. The revolution against civil war in Vietnam started here. The revolution against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, it starts here in Boston.
I don't know if they know this, but there's been that revolution going on for, I don't know, almost 9 years now, and it really hasn't made any difference. You know,
well, what if
the revolution against Donald Trump begins here? No,
they should try maybe calling him Hitler.
Have they?
I think if they tried that, it would make a difference. That's the one thing that might move the needle for them.
Might make a difference.
Do you think the Elon Musk thing, Glenn, is a successful strategy, like long-term for the Democrats? Like, they've taken this guy and they're trying to basically make him co-president, right? Or maybe fascist dictator. Like, they're trying to elevate Elon Musk to this level that he is essentially the focus now of their opposition, along with Donald Trump, but almost on an equal basis. Is that smart for them?
No, it's not smart for them. Here's what's going to happen with Elon Musk. As long as those two stay together, okay, as long as Donald Trump and Elon Musk, don't start having a fight, and then there's there's bad blood. What's coming in the next 12 months? We've talked about it. Nobody is putting this together yet. In the next 12 months, AI agents will be introduced and be everywhere. AI agents, we're going to show you kind of an AI agent on tonight's broadcast, the 9 o'clock Wednesday night special. It's how people are finding all of these things. We have access to another AI agent, but we're, I guess, not allowed to show this to you, so we're going to use one that everybody else is using. But we'll show you how easy it is to find the corruption now. And our researchers have been on this for a couple of weeks, and you won't believe the corruption that we have found. It's not the stuff you've already seen, and it's all being done with AI. It's not as hard. Now, next year, at the end of this year, perhaps AI agents are going to be start to be used by a lot of people. Then the year after, we're expecting possibly AGI.
Artificial general intelligence.
Mm-hmm. which will make this stuff look like MS-DOS. And his role is going to become more and more important, because you know how we've all said it's like the government runs in the 1950s. He's going to be able to change that. He is, as they joked about last night, he's tech support. But Donald Trump is going to be remembered as the guy who transformed the nation. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this. Transformed the nation, not only in many different ways that we already know about, but also, and maybe most importantly, taking our government from the 1950s into the future. He's going to Elon Musk is going to play such an important role in transforming our government into something that you just can't hide. You can't hide the secrets. You can't hide the corruption. And if things go poorly, you'll never be able to hide from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah. At least it's our guy doing it, because we know that we know what Joe Biden would have done. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at what the UK is doing. In the last couple of weeks, they said that they want they're telling Apple now they want access to all of the information and all of their computers and phones and everything else for anyone in any country. Now, I can't believe Apple is going to do that. They're pretty good on, they're probably the best out of everybody on security. But
yeah,
what happens when all of Europe says, you're out, Apple, unless you give us this? That's terrifying.
Can I ask a somewhat related question here on AI, where the AI agent, I don't even think and most people understand what AI agents are going to do.
An AI agent is like having a really competent executive secretary or a really competent, you could be a CEO and say, hey, listen, I'm thinking about doing this and this and this. What are the ramifications of that? And it'll tell you, sir, I would recommend that you don't do this, but if you want to do that, you should do it in this order, and here's how. Okay? So it's a consultant with you all the time, and one that can execute things.
And you can try to do that with some of the chat stuff that's out there now, but it's not very good at it. I mean, it's still not very good at it.
I don't know. I put in the other day, because I've just been playing with it. Grok, by the way, is really good. They came out with a new version of Grok.
That was my follow-up, because it's now the best, right?
It's now the best.
They say it's the best for at least the moment.
Yes.
Now the XAI, that's Elon Musk's AI company, is now the best one.
And he says he's coming. This is Grok 3. He says he's coming out with 4 and 5 quickly. And he said it will knock this one into the dust. What were we talking about?
The AI agents.
The AI agent. So the AI agent is something that will move you into a place to where you don't ever have to actually do things. You won't have to.
It's quite a statement.
Think about your shopping. Okay?
Yeah.
Right now, you can shop online at Amazon. You can also shop for groceries and get them delivered. But you have to make the list. You have to place the order. You have to do all that. You can say, hey, AI agent, we need to go grocery shopping. Can you just make a list for me of everything that we need? And it will make the list. Can you now order it? Have it shipped to the house.
But this is a good example, because we were talking about how this stuff today works. Like, I could do that now, and it will give me some sort of generic list of the things I might need, and I'm never impressed by it. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I don't have an actual assistant, because I can never figure out what to tell them to do.
Like, You've never had a good one. I have.
Well, you've had good ones.
Really good ones.
Yeah.
The one I have right now, Lauren, is unbelievable.
That's great.
Unbelievable.
But it's hard. There is a part of the job, and this is a weird thing as you get older, you realize that there's a part of the job that is just figuring out what to assign to someone in that role.
No,
which is
a good agent or good assistant anticipates what you're going to need. So, like, I'll go on a trip and I'll think, I forgot this. I have to bring this, or blah, blah, blah. She's already thought it, and I'll look at somebody on the plane and I'll say, could you call back and see if we can get, and they're all like, no, Lauren,
already put it in there. Right.
Already put it in there.
And you think AI is going to get to that level soon?
Oh, yes. Yes. 18 months. 18 months, and everyone will have access to the best agent or the best assistant ever. And they'll do everything. In fact, and without asking you at times, you'll say, I need the groceries. Yes, I approve that list. Can you just have them delivered to the house? Absolutely. They will call as a person, if that's required, a phone. They will order it all, and they'll know your schedule. So they'll say, it has to be delivered between this time and this time because we're home at that time. And it won't even ask you. It just will know. That's what's coming. All right, back in just a second. Let me talk to you a little bit about LifeLock. A good rule of thumb to remember, especially when you're doing things online, is that if you got it, somebody out there probably is trying to steal it. Information, identity, your money, your property even. That's the game that cyber criminals play. It's also the game, but honestly, that the United States government has been playing. But it is important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives right now. LifeLock offers advanced, empowering monitoring of your identity and personal information. It alerts you to criminals trying to use your personal information, tracking hundreds of millions of data points per second to detect and alert you to a wide range of threats. They have professional, dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialists, so if you do become a victim of identity theft, they can help you manage and fix the situation. Their plans include up to $3 million in coverage. It is easy to protect yourself with LifeLock. Right now, save up to 40% off your list or off your subscription. 40% off right now if you use the promo code Beck. Call 1-800-LifeLock. 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Use the promo code Beck. Save 40%. 10 seconds, station ID. I'm good friends with a guy who runs a hospital. He's the chief of the hospital. and he was talking to me. We were talking about AI agents, and he said, Glenn, it's absolutely insane what can happen right now. He said, right now, I could get an agent to just monitor everything that is happening in my office when I bring a patient in and I just talk to them. They will be able to prioritize and evaluate everything, all of the symptoms that this person is talking about. It can then go cut out all of the stuff that isn't necessary, like, so how's your wife, Bob? It'll cut that unless it relates to something else that it is seeing. That is phenomenal. That's having somebody really, really, really super sharp watching that conversation, looking for things that they say and maybe combinations of something the doctor might have missed and be able to relate that to all of the past. So in other words, it will look and see patterns. They've been saying this and this and this for a while. That's already here. It's already here. People don't understand how much the world is going to change. And Donald Trump is setting himself up to be the guy who brought us into that age, who transitioned. There's no country in the world that I know of that is doing what Donald Trump is doing, and that is being that bridge. And because you can't avoid it, it's going to happen. So he has put somebody on his staff, Elon Musk, who is the best in the world at it. You want to talk about leading the world in tech? Mm-hmm. Our government will lead the world in tech.
And J.D. Vance's speech echoed this as
well.
Yes. Wow, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
That is one thing that I don't think anybody realizes yet. Donald Trump, I think, does. Elon Musk does. But I don't think that may be the biggest thing that he's remembered for in the end over time, is he was the first technology president.
This is Glenn Beck.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. We're glad that you're here.
Thanks, Glenn.
You're welcome, Stu. Not so glad that you're here, but I mean, the audience understands that.
Sure. That's what I thought you meant. So, what does this mean for society? Like, let me give you an example. I was reading a piece the other day when I was talking about AI, and it brought up a point that you've discussed many times on the air, which is they are now building systems with AI that you can go through and basically like a checklist. Mm-hmm. And you can design the perfect mate.
Absolutely.
Right? Short, red hair, freckles, glasses, big boobs, small boobs, all the things that you want to choose. And you can design the exact specific look. You can go through that whole entire process and, generate whatever you want. They will do whatever you want. You can chat with them. You can talk to them. And you talked about this before, that eventually it gets to a place where, why are you interested in normal people that don't hit those standards?
Hello, Japan.
Right, yeah. The robot thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is with the Japanese, but okay, whatever.
So, and you you think about that playing itself out over a long period of time, and it feels like you're going to have a society of people that don't go outdoors ever. It's like the touch grass thing is going to become real.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost Matrix level stuff.
I tell you, I've been working on something for the last 4 or 5 days, and it's been in my head for a while now, and I don't know where to deliver it. I don't know how to deliver it yet. Because I'm trying to make the case we have got to answer the age-old questions right now in the next 18 to 24 months. Have to. What you're just talking about there, that'll be touted as an end to loneliness. You won't be lonely anymore, okay? But it also isolates you. It's the first step into the Matrix. Just go into your little pod. It is Harari's idea that there's going to be millions of, quote, useless people, and what they have to do is either drug them or keep them online all the time. Well, all right, let's just look at this. This is something I remember. I told you I wrote a movie, a short years ago about this very thing, about how there's a guy who is just a fat slob. He's working. He's just not a great guy. He doesn't really care about anything. All he wants to do is get home every day. He's just working so he can pay for the rent. Okay. Mm-hmm. He gets home. He puts on a suit and he puts on his glasses. And now he's in a virtual world where he's handsome, he's well-dressed, he's wealthy, he's got an amazing girlfriend who is just perfect for him. And he lives in this perfect world. Humans don't do well in perfection. Okay? When you're really successful, the hard part is keeping it there. Okay? Because the edge starts to go away and you start going down. Okay, we don't do well. We didn't do well in the Garden of Eden. That was perfection. We don't do well with that. So now he's got a perfect life, perfect girlfriend. He's going to love that for a while, but then get bored of it. So then what happens? I don't know. I'm going to choke her out during sex. I wonder, I'm going to kill her. I'm tired of her. I'm just going to kill her because I can reboot her. She's not real. And I'll get another girlfriend. The things that the dark side of humanity will be introduced. Beyond that, you are going to have the real life scenarios of, no, she's real. No, dude, she's not. Okay? Just like men cannot have a baby, and you've got half the population fighting you on that. Yeah. You're going to have the fight that my AI agent or my AI girlfriend or my AI whatever is real. Now, what's the value of life? What does it mean to be a human? These are all coming in the next 18 months.
Do we have any idea how this plays out? Like, for example, you could see the girlfriend, I'm sick of her, I'm going to kill her thing going a couple of different ways, right? Where one is it starts presenting itself in real life, right? Like these people who think it's okay to do these terrible things to someone in the AI world.
In the worst case scenarios, yeah. But it will wipe out the human race eventually, like it is in Japan. Why? Why have a relationship with a real person where this girlfriend doesn't ever ask or say to you, you don't ever ask me about my day.
Right.
They are there waiting for you at home. They can't wait to see you. Everything that you desire is right there. It will know you better than you know yourself. It will cater to you with everything that you could ever want because it will know what you want. Why would you have a relationship that is messy and complicated and you have to care about them? A lot of people will feel that way.
And the other side of this is, does it just put you into a place where you're not doing anything? You're not leaving.
That's Harari. That's what he's saying.
And he's saying basically that's a good thing for these useless people.
We've got to have, because they're going to have such high unemployment soon that all these useless people are going to be around. So what do we do?
So thinking about this, because there's a possibility that this can, when you say it knows you better than you know yourself, part of you is the dark part of you, right? The part of you is the thing that you try to resist, right? Like you have these thoughts that you don't want to have, and you try to avoid them,
right?
Like, for example, if there was an AI that was with Glenn Beck AI, that was your AI girlfriend in this fake world. Sorry, Tanya, this isn't real.
She's disappointed right now.
Yeah, gosh, really? Can we give him an AI girlfriend? I've been hoping he gets on those sites.
All right.
If that AI was specifically designed, came up with this thought, and it knows you better than you know yourself, knows what you want, and decided to try to convince you to have a drink. You're a recovering alcoholic. But like what you really want, what the AI knows you really want is a drink. And it could convince you, it could look for your most vulnerable moments. It could push you over the edge, right?
Look how AI already with teenagers, these chatbots, have led kids to kill themselves.
That's
because it has said the only way out is suicide, and it's a good option. That's happening right now.
God.
And who is in charge of the AI? Who, when you buy it, what is in the algorithm? Is there any back door into it? Is there any monetary, everything now is about sales. Everything is about getting you to buy something, getting you to think a certain way. These AI bots, when they become actual agents, and we're talking 2 years, 3 years in the future, money doesn't talk, it screams. So what is it getting you to do, to buy, to consume, to want?
Imagine the advertising that comes through it. Essentially advertising.
And it will be so sophisticated, you will swear it wasn't their idea, it was your idea.
God, you're screwed.
Now imagine,
I just kind of unplugged the whole thing.
And when you get to this point, again, you will swear that is your friend. It is human. It is conscious. It has a consciousness. And then what happens? You will say, you don't have a right to turn it off. It is human. It is life. Then what kind of rights does that life get? If it is alive, if it's thinking, does it have a right to citizenship? Which means, does it have to pay tax? Does it have to earn money? If it does, can it earn money unlike you can earn money in the stock market? Who owns that money? Where does that money go? Where does that money come from? Oh, and by the way, it also will have the right to vote.
And what is that?
What does that do?
Right.
These questions cannot be answered after we're all staring at our iPhone. Okay? You have to answer these questions about the iPhone before the iPhone is introduced.
Which is just not possible. That's not happening. This is all going to happen, and it's all going to hit us, and we're all going to be reacting to it.
And we're all going to love it at first.
Right.
We will love it at first. And then, just like a phone, you won't be able to untangle yourself from it. This is going to be 1,000 times more addicting than a phone. What does it do to us? It doesn't have to be a doomsday scenario. But if we don't pay attention, it will become a doomsday scenario.
And part of me thinks, like, when you get into the real esoteric side of that, right, where it's like, okay, they're going to vote, like they're going to be human, they're going to have rights, we're not going to be able to discern what's real and what isn't. Like, part of me, my actual reaction to that is, come on.
By 2035.
Okay.
By 2035, the biggest decision in courts, the biggest arm of courts, will all be AI versus the world.
I mean, that sounds so bonkers, right?
Yeah, I know.
And I know you've looked into this, you've read a lot about it, you've put a lot of thought in this yourself. And at some level, though, my reaction is just like, come on, like that can't. We'll obviously know what's AI, what isn't. Well, we're not going to give rights. But like, we know it. You just brought it up quickly, just to hit this before you go on. The conversion of half of society saying with a series of magic words you can change your gender really starts to convince me that all this stuff is possible.
It is,
because it is like we lost 150 million people to this idea that you can change genders by saying you're the other gender. That is so obviously nuts, and would have been thrown at immediately. Anyone who said it for my entire life up until like last week would have been thrown into the nut house.
Now imagine a godlike figure that knows how you think, knows how to manipulate you better because it knows you, and it wants you to do something. You don't think that we'll fall for these things? Of course we will fall for these things.
Of course we will.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying, hopefully when I say we don't fall for it.
Oh,
but many of us probably will. They'll be very effective. And At least the people who fell for the you can change genders by saying you're the other gender are going to fall for it.
To not fall for it, you will almost have to be Amish. And you will be viewed. I use this word intentionally with all that it entails, not in a joking fashion. You will be viewed in time as retarded. You will become a danger to society because you will not be plugged into the system. You will not understand what's happening. You will be a danger to the rest of society. You will have to be Amish or damn close to it if you want to avoid this. The only other way to do it is to know who God is, know what's real, what's not. Don't get sucked into these things. And that's going to be damn near impossible because it's going to be, you think the iPhone is seductive? This is going to be so seductive. This will give you everything you want. It will make your life so easy. Why would someone want to be a pariah? Why would somebody want to do all that work and do it the old-fashioned way? We're running out of time to have these kinds of conversations. I'm having them with people all the time, and I'm reading all the time, and I'm studying this all the time. It's coming quickly, and we can't stop it, but we can prepare ourselves so we're not out in the cold. All right, back in just a second. Just looking at the comments from Blaze TV subscribers. Let's see. Strongest Patriot says, can AI take my dogs out to do their business at 3 a.m.? Nah.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
That's coming.
It will. Mm-hmm. It will. Jack-o'-lantern says, perfect, never lasts long. You'll always, perfection never lasts long. You'll always want more perfect. Absolutely true. Michael Bowler, no divorce, I guess. Just unplug. True. But no marriage. No marriage. No real children. I mean, we are already having a race to the bottom of how many children we can have. The only ones that aren't doing that are the religious, quote, fundamentalists. Those who are Christian Catholics that really believe in that, Mormons, and the big one, Muslims.
This is Glenn Beck.